legit, bona fide boxing, pure boxing chaos. I'm talking about the kind of stuff.
Shockwaves rock the sports world. Did Floyd Mayweather, the undefeated king, orchestrate the biggest scam in boxing history? Bombshell allegations surface as insiders like Mike Tyson and Stephen A. Smith reportedly expose whispers of fixed fights. And staggering financial deceit, millions potentially duped. Now Mayweather breaks his silence, not from a throne of gold, but amidst swirling rumors of bankruptcy and a massive $402 million real estate scandal. Is the money empire crumbling? Was it all smoke and mirrors? Brace yourselves as we dive deep into the explosive revelations, Mayweather's defiant response, and the controversy threatening to shatter his legacy forever. The air crackles with tension as Floyd Mayweather Jr., a name synonymous with boxing perfection and extravagant wealth, steps into the spotlight under a cloud of intense speculation and damaging accusations. For weeks, the whispers had grown louder, morphing into headline-grabbing claims of potential bankruptcy and entanglement in a colossal $402 million real estate controversy. The narrative painted a picture far removed from the invincible champion, suggesting financial peril and questionable dealings. Now, for the first time publicly addressing these explosive claims, Mayweather confronts the storm head-on. His demeanor is a carefully curated blend, the indignation of a man wrongly accused, fused with the steely calm of a fighter who has weathered countless
To pay homage to Mayweather, the fighter. It's the businessman in Mayweather they actually love even more. As the
battles, both inside and outside the ring, he doesn't shy away from acknowledging financial turbulence, framing it not as failure, but as the inevitable ebb and flow of a high-stakes journey. Look, you can almost hear him stating, his voice steady, everybody takes hits, setbacks, losses, they're part of the game. It ain't about never falling down, it's about getting back up every single time. I've faced tougher odds than this in the ring and outside of it. This is just another round, and nobody defines my future but me. Floyd Mayweather calls the shots. He emphasizes resilience, a refusal to be defined by temporary difficulties, positioning himself as the master of his own destiny. Even when external forces attempt to dictate the narrative, the message is clear. Reports of his financial demise have been greatly exaggerated, or at least are merely bumps on a much longer road he intends to travel successfully. Central to Mayweather's counter-narrative against the swirling financial storm clouds is a monumental investment in the heart of New York City. He proudly details his ownership of 62 apartment buildings, a significant portfolio reportedly valued at a cool $42 million. These aren't just random properties. They represent a strategic foothold in one of the world's most competitive real estate markets. Containing over 1,000 affordable housing units, this investment carries a dual message. On one hand, it's presented as a savvy financial maneuver, a tangible asset.
Believe that I do. At least I got a legitimate reason to. I work for somebody. I have to answer to somebody. That's ESPN. You want to call that a shame, then call most of the American public being shameful because they're employed by somebody else. Floyd is worth close to $500 million, if not more. But he's backtracked from time to time, so I'd ask him to look in the mirror in that regard, and I'll leave it at that in terms of that particular point of view.
Set-based countering claims of insolvency. On the other, it subtly addresses social consciousness, providing essential housing, a move that potentially softens the image, often criticized for excessive luxury. Crucially, Mayweather hammers home one point repeatedly. These properties are his and his alone. No partners, he stresses, his words sharp and deliberate. 100% owned by Floyd Mayweather. When I make moves, I make them for myself, for my legacy. I don't need nobody else cutting in, taking a piece. This is about independence, about building something that lasts, something that carries the Mayweather name forward. This assertion is vital to his persona. It's not just about the monetary value. It's a declaration of autonomy, a power statement reinforcing his image as a self-made mogul who dictates his own terms, beholden to no one. He views these buildings as more than just assets. They are symbols of his business acumen and his determination to build an empire beyond the boxing ring, securing his financial future on his own foundation. The conversation inevitably turns to the criticism frequently leveled against him, the ostentatious displays of wealth, the private jets, the mountains of cash flashed on social media, the dazzling jewelry. Critics often label it as crass vanity, a needless flaunting of fortune. Mayweather, however, offers a different perspective, one deeply rooted in his own life story. He explains that these visuals are not merely for personal gratification.
The motivation behind most of the critics is because he flaunts his success, he flaunts his wealth, and they hate the fact that he has it. I look at the fact that he earned it. I look at the fact that, you know, he's a kid that has achieved the American dream. And he did it with a lot of hard work. He dedicated himself to the sport of boxing since he was 2 years old. I see that picture. Who is that?
That's where it all started from.
That's you?
That's me.
I can't hate on that man for that. I gotta respect that.
But serve a larger purpose. People see the flashy things, Mayweather elaborates. They see the watches, the cars, the lifestyle. They don't always understand the message behind it. It ain't about saying, look how rich I am. It's about showing people, especially kids from backgrounds like mine, that this is possible. It's about motivation. He frames his luxury as a beacon of aspiration, a tangible representation of the success achievable through relentless hard work and self-belief, regardless of one's starting point. I came from nothing. He often reminds people, no silver spoon, just grit, determination, and a refusal to lose. So when I show these things, it's to light a fire under someone else. It's to say, if I can do it, coming from where I came from, you can do it too. It's bigger than just money, it's about planting a seed of possibility. He positions himself not as someone detached by wealth, but as an example, aiming to inspire those still trapped in the circumstances he overcame. The luxury in his telling transforms from simple indulgence into a powerful symbol of the American dream, amplified through the lens of his unique journey. To truly understand the relentless drive behind the money persona, Mayweather argues one must look back at the harsh realities of his upbringing. He speaks with raw honesty about a childhood marked by profound instability and adversity. It wasn't easy, he reflects, the usual bravado softening slightly. My mother...
Yeah, stuff like that.
Promoting.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like, you know?
Yeah.
But just little stuff that people wouldn't like catch unless like you see how like you caught a lot of people wouldn't catch would have caught that. Like he scheduled a fight when I'm fighting and I was signed to him.
Do you think that's a relationship that y'all could like mend? Have y'all mended or?
No, I just like it's more so like I respect them. And I won't say I respect. I appreciate him. I appreciate him for what he done because he did he did help me out. He definitely helped me out, but it was...
She battled addiction. My father, he was incarcerated. A lot of the time, I was raising myself, figuring things out on my own. He recounts the experience of navigating the immense pressure of the Olympics essentially alone, lacking the consistent family support structure many athletes rely on. These formative experiences, filled with pain and uncertainty, weren't just obstacles. They became the crucible in which his ambition was forged. That struggle, Mayweather explains, it puts a different kind of hunger in you. It makes you determined never to go back there. It fuels you to achieve, to build something secure, something nobody can take away from you. The early pain, the feeling of vulnerability, transformed into an unrelenting drive for success, control, and financial security. His relationship with his father, Floyd Mayweather Jr., adds another layer of complexity. While his father eventually became his coach, instilling discipline and boxing knowledge, their history created an undercurrent of emotional tension. This dynamic, a source of both world-class training and deep-seated personal conflict, further shaped the fighter and the man, contributing to the complex tapestry of resilience, ambition, and perhaps a perpetual need to prove himself. Mayweather approaches the world of business with the same calculated aggression he displayed in the ring, openly embracing a high-risk, high-reward strategy. He makes a startling admission: most of my investments, maybe 90%, they don't work out, they fail.
So they sent it to Floyd, and Floyd bugged out.
Okay.
So that's what made it like.
And you think that was a downfall of y'all career? I mean, y'all
No, it was a
relationship, not
downfall.
career.
Yeah,
Relationship.
it wasn't a downfall of my career. I mean, my our relationship, because it was more things that he was doing. Like
He scheduled a fight, I think, during like your fight or something. I don't think they did.
This might sound like a recipe for disaster to conservative investors, but for Mayweather, it's simply the cost of doing business at the highest level. He believes that true breakthroughs and massive payoffs don't come from playing it safe. You gotta be bold, he asserts. You gotta be willing to take chances that others won't. That's where the real rewards are. Playing safe gets you safe results. I'm not interested in safe. I'm interested in winning big. He points to one of the most pivotal moments of his career. As proof, his decision to buy himself out of his promotional contract with Top Rank for $750,000. It was a colossal gamble at the time, leaving the security of a major promoter to navigate the treacherous waters of self-promotion. People thought I was crazy, he recalls, giving up guaranteed money, but I saw the bigger picture. I knew my worth. I bet on myself. That $750,000 bet ultimately paved the way for him to earn an estimated $750 million through massively successful pay-per-view events that he controlled, promoted, and profited from directly. This move exemplifies his business philosophy. Take calculated risks, maintain control, and back your own ability to deliver extraordinary results. The 90% failure rate, in his view, is acceptable collateral damage, on the path to the monumental 10% successes that redefine the game. Despite his unparalleled success and defiant stance, Mayweather remains a lightning rod for public scrutiny and media.
I was at 90.
Yeah.
Media backlash. Prominent figures in the sports world, including commentators like Shannon Sharpe and Stephen A. Smith, have voiced strong opinions about his post-retirement activities, particularly his series of exhibition matches against opponents far outside the realm of professional boxing, such as YouTubers and MMA fighters. Their criticism centers on the argument that these spectacles, while financially lucrative for Mayweather, risk tarnishing his legendary boxing status. Sharpe and Smith argue that engaging in these non-competitive bouts diminishes the perception of Mayweather as one of the greatest defensive boxers of all time. He was TBE, the best ever, because of his skill, his defense, his ring IQ, one might argue, echoing their sentiments. These exhibitions, they feel different. It feels like it's just about the money now, turning the sweet science into a sideshow. They contend that prioritizing massive paydays from these matches over preserving the integrity of his boxing legacy threatens to overshadow the discipline, sacrifice, and genius that defined his 50-0 professional career. The debate highlights a fundamental tension. Should a retired legend preserve their competitive image at all costs, or are they entitled to capitalize on their fame in any way they see fit, even if it invites criticism about diluting their sporting achievements? Mayweather's continued participation in these events suggests his answer leans firmly towards the latter, prioritizing financial opportunity and entertainment value as defined on his own.
Like, you know, Floyd's a great fighter, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
You know, he had 50 fights and he says, listen, Sugar Ray Robinson had 47 fights. He lost one, then he had 78 fights. Then he had a 78-fight winning streak.
Yeah, but you even
Can you think he had 47, lost one, then 78 winning streak?
But even more
like
modern than that.
Knockouts.
Look at Julio Cesar Chavez. He was 84 and 0,
He
right?
was 89, 90 and 0 before he lost.
89 and 0. Wow. So it's
Don't
not,
tell me about you the greatest fighter with 50 and 0, nigga. You're great, no doubt about it, nigga. 50 and 0.
Own terms. Through all the financial controversy, the discussions about his past, and the critiques of his present ventures, Floyd Mayweather projects an aura of unwavering self-assurance. He has built a career and a public persona on defying expectations and controlling the narrative, whether facing allegations of financial mismanagement or criticism about exhibition. Fights, his response remains consistent: resilience, defiance, and an emphasis on his own autonomy. He leverages his difficult past not as a crutch, but as evidence of his strength. He presents his business risks not as recklessness, but as calculated boldness. He frames his wealth not as vanity, but as motivation. The recent revelations and Mayweather's public response add another complex chapter to his ongoing story. Is he a financial genius navigating temporary setbacks, or is he facing genuine peril masked by bravado? Are his exhibition fights a savvy continuation of his brand, or a dilution of his hard-earned legacy? The answers likely lie somewhere in the intricate space between perception and reality, a space Mayweather has proven masterful at navigating throughout his career. He remains a figure who commands attention, sparks debate, and forces the world to watch his next move, inside or outside the ring. His journey, marked by unprecedented success and persistent controversy, continues to unfold under the intense glare of the public eye, ensuring that the name Floyd Money Mayweather
compete with that. So he's pretty big on those scales as far as on the celebrity scale. So He's gonna realize what life is all about and what friends are all about, and realize that we only have a few of them, and sometimes they're the only ones we got. They may not.
Mayweather will remain etched in conversation for years to come. We've delved deep into the whirlwind surrounding Floyd Mayweather, the shocking allegations, his bold financial maneuvers, his justifications for that lavish lifestyle, the raw truths of his past, and the ongoing debate about his legacy. What are your thoughts? Is Mayweather a master strategist weathering the storm, or is his empire facing real challenges? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want more exclusive insights, breaking news, and deep dives into the biggest stories in sports and entertainment, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications for our YouTube channel. You don't want to miss what's coming next. The global Mayweather phenomenon, a cultural icon beyond boxing, Floyd Mayweather's influence extends far beyond the squared circle, making him a cultural icon whose reach touches multiple facets of society. His rise from humble beginnings in Grand Rapids, Michigan, to becoming one of the most recognizable figures on the planet is a testament not only to his athletic prowess, but also to his ability to transcend the sport itself. In many ways, Mayweather has become synonymous with success. His name evokes images of luxury cars, private jets, and sold-out arenas, cementing his status as a symbol of opulence and ambition. This global appeal can be attributed in part to Mayweather's mastery of self-promotion. Long before social media became a dominant force in shaping public perception, he was using platforms like Instagram and
What lessons do you think Pacquiao and Mayweather could learn from you in terms of life away from the ring?
Well, Floyd seems to be going through some stuff like me right now, like realizing no one's his friend, and everybody's probably, even though I even hate to say it, because maybe everybody's kind of a little jealous of him, because he is Floyd Mayweather. I know these other guys got their money, but this guy is the champ of the world. It's hard to
Twitter to cultivate an unfiltered connection with fans. His posts often feature glimpses into his extravagant lifestyle, accompanied by motivational captions that reinforce his hard work pays off ethos. This blend of aspirational messaging and unapologetic swagger resonates deeply with audiences across demographics, particularly younger generations eager to emulate his confidence and drive. Moreover, Mayweather's willingness to embrace controversy has kept him firmly in the spotlight. Whether it's through high-stakes exhibition matches, outspoken interviews, or bold fashion statements, he thrives on generating buzz. Critics may dismiss this as mere theatrics, but there's no denying its effectiveness. By consistently inserting himself into conversations about sports, entertainment, and even politics, Mayweather ensures that his brand remains relevant in an ever-changing media landscape. Internationally, Mayweather's impact is equally profound. His fights have drawn record-breaking viewership numbers worldwide, turning him into a household name in countries where boxing might otherwise lack mainstream appeal. From Asia to Europe to Africa, fans marvel at his technical brilliance and undefeated record, while entrepreneurs study his business strategies. Some observers argue that Mayweather has done more to popularize boxing globally than any other figure in recent memory, leveraging pay-per-view events and digital platforms to bring the sport to new audiences. Yet for all his international acclaim,
these guys pay a monthly dividend of about 5.5% if you invest your money with them. I'm sure 601 is giving Floyd a better return on his investment than Realty Income would give you or I, but it's generally the same concept as what I'm thinking, which means that if you put $100 million into this fund, he's probably making something like $600,000 per month on his investment. Next story. This one is definitely a change of pace. Floyd has now decided to invest a chunk of his money in the famous Versace mansion in Miami Beach. This one is very different than the last couple deals we talked about. This property is located at 1116 Ocean Drive. It's known as Villa Casa Casuarina. And the 1930s home features over 23,000 square feet of living space spread out over 3 stories. This place was originally built just as a house for a guy named Alden Freeman, who was an heir to an oil fortune.
Mayweather remains deeply rooted in his American identity. He frequently references his journey from poverty to prosperity, framing it as a quintessentially American story of perseverance and grit. This narrative resonates strongly with domestic audiences, reinforcing his image as as a self-made man who defied the odds. It's a duality that defines much of his public persona, a global superstar who simultaneously embodies universal themes of ambition and resilience. The psychological toll of fame. Behind the mask of invincibility, despite his outward bravado, Floyd Mayweather is not immune to the psychological burdens that accompany life under the microscope. The pressures of maintaining a flawless public image, coupled with the relentless scrutiny of his personal and professional decisions, take a toll that few truly understand. Beneath the surface of his meticulously curated persona lies a man grappling with the weight of expectations from fans, critics, family members, and perhaps most importantly, himself. Mayweather's upbringing played a significant role in shaping his approach to fame. Raised in an environment marked by hardship and instability, he learned early on to equate success with survival. This mindset served him well during his ascent to the top of the boxing world, fueling his relentless pursuit of greatness. However, it also ingrained a fear of failure that continues to haunt him, manifesting in an obsessive need to control every aspect of his life and career.
Yeah, we on Boss Talk TV. Shout out to E. He the reason you see.
How much money you got, you really don't have no money. So if you know how many buildings you got, you don't really have no buildings. So I think I own right now somewhere upwards of 100 buildings or more. And in 99% of my buildings are in New York City.
Wow, guys. Guys, do y'all see what's going on, man? 50 done posted, man. Floyd Mayweather would have blown Pinocchio nose, and he's telling the story about the audio's going behind it saying, I got so many buildings. And 90%, I think. He said, I think they in New York. He said, he think they in New York, man. Make sure you like, subscribe to the channel. Man, and it's crazy, but it's happening. Yeah, 50 Cent is pretty much exposing the fact that Floyd Mayweather is having issues, but it was not 50 that started it. It was actually...
This need for control is evident in everything from his training regimen to his business dealings. Mayweather famously micromanages nearly every detail, refusing to delegate tasks that others might consider routine. While this hands-on approach has undoubtedly contributed to his success, it also leaves little room for error or rest. Even in retirement, Mayweather operates with the same intensity that defined his fighting days, juggling multiple ventures and commitments without pause. For someone accustomed to operating at peak performance, slowing down poses its own set of challenges. Compounding these pressures are the inevitable comparisons to past legends and contemporaries. Despite his unparalleled achievements, Mayweather often finds himself defending his legacy against detractors who question the caliber of his opponent or the authenticity of his accomplishments. These critiques sting, not because they threaten his financial security, but because they challenge the very foundation of his identity. To Mayweather, being the best isn't just a title, it's a core belief that drives him forward. In moments of reflection, Mayweather has hinted at the emotional toll of living life in the public eye. He speaks candidly about the loneliness that comes with fame, describing how difficult it is to trust people when everyone seems to want something from you. This sense of isolation is exacerbated by the constant presence of cameras and microphones, which leave little space for genuine human connection. Yet, rather than retreat from the...
Yeah. So we're gonna sue Floyd Mayweather.
Yo, what's good with this?
Are we? What's good with the conversation about this? Last night you were doing one of these. Are we saying that or what?
He hasn't sued him yet.
Oh, got it.
We're still talking.
Got it.
There's still conversations that are happening.
Well, he got sued. You know he got sued.
He's been sued multiple times
for the same fight. Yo, something's going on, and there's one side that's very clear to see is being fucking shady. You know why he got sued? I watched the video on it. There's a full breakdown. He is the promotional arm of his fights. It's why, in part, he makes so much money, because whereas a normal promotional company will take 30%, he is that. And so oftentimes for his fights, before the tickets can go on sale to the public, or like right as they go on sale, he'll buy a whole wing, a whole section, and then he'll sell them at a higher price, marked up, so he can make,
like all the floor seat. He takes all of them.
All of them. 3, 4, 5x. And it's part of his business.
Limelight, Mayweather leans into it, finding solace in the adoration of millions, even if it sometimes feels fleeting or superficial. Legacy versus currency. The eternal balancing act. One of the most fascinating aspects of Floyd Mayweather's post-retirement journey is his apparent willingness to prioritize short-term gains over long-term reverence. By embracing exhibition matches and dabbling in ventures outside traditional boxing, he risks diluting the purity of his legacy. But does this matter to him? Based on his own words and actions, the answer seems clear. Mayweather values currency over commemoration. This philosophy aligns with broader trends in modern celebrity culture, where relevance often trumps reverence. Athletes, musicians, and actors alike are increasingly exploring ways to extend their brands beyond their original fields. Whether through endorsements, reality TV shows, or entrepreneurial pursuits, Mayweather fits squarely within this paradigm, viewing himself not merely as a boxer, but as a multifaceted entertainer and businessman. His decision to fight Logan Paul, for instance, wasn't just about money. It was about staying culturally relevant in an era dominated by influencers and digital content creators. That said, the tension between legacy and currency remains a central theme in discussions about Mayweather's career. Purists lament what they see as a departure from the principles of competitive integrity, arguing that his exhibitions
I'm listening. Mayweather didn't broke every record in boxing. When we get to talk about highest gate, even when they was like right now, they saying, oh, Mayweather fight didn't sell out. Well, you know, when they do sell out, I think I'll reach somewhere like, you know, the live gate, it reached like 80-something million for this fight. We already had 60-something million. For those that saying that Mayweather is not doing numbers anymore. As far as taking less punishment, I took less punishment.
cheapen the sport and undermine his own greatness. They point to his storied bouts against Manny Pacquiao, Miguel Cotto, and Oscar de la Hoya as examples of true championship-level competition, suggesting that anything less diminishes his standing. Among the all-time greats, Mayweather, however, appears unfazed by such criticisms. To him, legacy is a fluid concept, one that evolves based on context and perspective. What matters most is how he chooses to define it, and right now, that definition revolves around autonomy and adaptability. By taking control of his narrative and dictating the terms of his engagements, he asserts a level of agency rarely seen in professional sports. Whether fighting YouTubers, investing in tech startups, or launching clothing lines, Mayweather operates according to a simple rule: do what works for you, not what pleases others. This mindset raises important questions about the nature of greatness. Is it measured solely by athletic achievement, or does it encompass broader contributions to culture and commerce? Can someone simultaneously embody excellence and excess without compromising either? Mayweather's career suggests that these distinctions are more nuanced than they appear, challenging conventional notions of success and fulfillment. A polarizing figure. Love him or hate him, you can't ignore him. Few individuals elicit as wide a range of emotions as Floyd Mayweather. To some, he is a hero, an embodiment of determination, discipline, and triumph.
My only point. He's phenomenal, and he's great, and he's unblemished in his career. And when you see Floyd Mayweather, when you see him in
against adversity. To others, he is a villain, a braggadocious showman whose antics overshadow his accomplishments. Regardless of where one falls on this spectrum, it's impossible to deny the indelible mark he has left on the worlds of sports, entertainment, and beyond. Of Mayweather's polarizing nature stems from his refusal to conform to societal norms. He rejects humility in favor of hubris, eschewing modesty for maximalism. Where others might shy away from controversy, he embraces it, knowing full well that attention, positive or negative, is a form of validation. This calculated defiance makes him both admired and reviled, often simultaneously. But perhaps the most compelling aspect of Mayweather's character is his authenticity. Unlike many celebrities who carefully curate their public personas, Mayweather presents himself exactly as he is: flawed, ambitious, and unapologetically human. He doesn't pretend to be likable. Instead, he focuses on being memorable, and in doing so, he has carved out a unique place in history, one that will continue to spark debate and discussion for years to come, as we look back on his storied career and anticipate what lies ahead. Thing is certain, Floyd Mayweather's story is far from over. Whether viewed as a trailblazer, a provocateur, or something in between, he has secured his place among the pantheon of cultural icons. And though the final chapter has yet to be written, thing is abundantly clear: Floyd Mayweather will always be money.